Yo, what is going on, NFL fans? The playoffs are finally here. All the games are set. We're going to break down all six of these wild card round games for you guys. And we're first going to start with Cleveland on the road, traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. The Texans narrowly escaped the Colts last week. If Shane Steichen, the Colts head coach, would have just ran the goddamn ball with Jonathan Taylor to pick up that 1 yard instead of passing the ball with a backup quarterback who has accuracy issues to an undrafted running back out of the backfield, the Colts probably win that game and move on to the playoffs, but that did not happen, so Cleveland is taking on Houston. And the Texans' first playoff game since 2019. Houston lost to Cleveland 36-22 in Week 16 at NRG Stadium in a game that quarterback C.J. Stroud missed because of a concussion. C.J. Stroud will be playing in this game, but the Texans gave up 368 yards passing to Joe Flacco, man. I really like Cleveland in this spot. I think that defense is going to give rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud a ton of trouble. And they rested all of their starters, so they're going to be fresh and ready to go. And the Texans played a really tough game. It looks like the spread is minus 2.5 points for Cleveland. From a betting perspective, I think Cleveland covers those 2.5 points. I'm going with Cleveland, the number 5 seed, to beat the number 4 seed Houston Texans. Next up, we have another Saturday game. We have the Miami Dolphins, who lost to the Bills, and now they're the number 6 seed, traveling to Kansas City to play the number 3 seed Kansas City Chiefs. Back in Week 9, the Chiefs and the Dolphins played in Germany. The Chiefs were able to win that game 21-14, but the Dolphins have played better in the second half of the year, and the Chiefs, they're kind of limping into the playoffs, guys, and I really think that this Miami Dolphins team has a serious chance of upsetting the Chiefs at home. The Chiefs have played 14 consecutive playoff games at home, dating back to 2016. Woo, man, this is going to be a really good game. The Chiefs have a defense that keeps them in games, but their offense have been terrible this year. They have been so bad. Their wide receivers are inexperienced, and in the playoffs, these little mistakes turn into big mistakes, and you got to think the Dolphins are going to double team Travis Kelce the whole game and let the other receivers on Kansas City try to beat them, man. One of the biggest concerns I have is the sloppiness of the Kansas City offense. They led the NFL in drop passes. They also turned the ball over a ton. Fumbles, interceptions, miscommunications. Those things in the playoffs get magnified, guys. So I like the Dolphins to go on the road in the freezing cold and upset the Kansas City Chiefs. I do think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like their last game, 21-14. But this time, the Dolphins are going to win this game 21-14 and move on to the division round in the playoffs. Wrapping up the AFC games this year, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS, the Buffalo Bills have a home game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is one of the most one-sided games, in my opinion, on this slate of first-round playoff games. The Bills and Steelers did not play each other in the regular season this year and haven't met each other in the playoffs since 1995. The Bills got hot at the right time. They've won 5 games in a row to kind of rip that AFC East division crown away from the Miami Dolphins. I think 5-6 weeks ago, everyone in the NFL thought the Miami Dolphins were going to easily win the AFC East, but the Bills were like, fuck that. We're going to smoke you guys in the last game of the year. We're going to win 5 games leading up to it, and then we are going to be the AFC East champions, 11-6 record, number 2 seed. I love the Buffalo Bills in this spot. I don't really think it's even going to be that close. The Bills' defense have been playing a lot better, but they still have a lot of injuries, a lot of young players, especially in that secondary. But I don't think Pittsburgh's offense is good enough to exploit the weaknesses of the Buffalo Bills. That's why I think the Bills' defense is going to do just enough, and I think they're going to put up a lot of points. I think it's going to be like 28 or 35 points for the Bills, but I'm going to predict 28-17 Buffalo moves on to the next round. On Sunday, let's start with the Green Bay Packers, the number 7 seed, traveling to Jerry's World in Dallas to take on the Cowboys. This game is at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Woo, this game's going to be a lot of fun. Green Bay has been playing a lot better than they were the first half of the season, and Dallas, they kind of went out a little sluggish against the Commanders, but they really turned it on in the second half of that game, and they dominated. Who do I think wins this game? I just think Dallas is really tough to beat at home. The Jimmy Johnson curse has been lifted now that the coach has been put in the Ring of Honor. That was so nice to see Jimmy Johnson. I'm not a huge fan of the Dallas Cowboys owner, but putting Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor where he belongs. Jerry Jones, in my opinion, is like the Donald Trump of the NFL. The way he fucked over Jimmy Johnson all those years just kind of makes me sick. Without those Super Bowl wins by Jimmy Johnson, the cachet of the Cowboys wouldn't even be close to where it is today. They haven't won a Super Bowl since then, and you're going to keep your best coach probably in franchise history out of the Ring of Honor for your team for petty bullshit reasons. I don't like that. I'm glad Jimmy Johnson's in. But now back to this game. Dak Prescott has had one of the best seasons of his career, and CeeDee Lamb has been unstoppable since, week 3 or 4 of this regular season. No one is capable of shutting down this team's offense, and they can run the ball too when need be. The only concern about the Dallas Cowboys is they are very susceptible to the run. And Green Bay, their offense runs through Aaron Jones. And if Aaron Jones has a big game, he goes 25 to 30 carries, averaging over 6 yards a carry. It could spell some serious trouble for the Dallas Cowboys. But if they can't run the ball, play action's not going to be there for Jordan Love. So the Cowboys really have to concentrate on stopping the run. For the last, 6 to 8 weeks, that is where you beat the Dallas Cowboys, is by running the ball down their throat. But I think Dallas should win this game. I think it's going to be closer than some people think. I'm predicting 24-20. Dallas Cowboys win this game and move on to the next round and get another home game. Next up, we have the Rams traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. This is the game I think I'm most excited for. I think it's going to be the most competitive, and I really have no idea who's going to win this game. I'm leaning towards the Rams because the Detroit Lions defense has been very up and down this year. They're very inconsistent, and I don't think they have the firepower to not only get to Matt Stafford, but to stop Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. I don't see that happening, guys. I like the Rams, the number 6 seed, to upset the Lions. This is the first playoff game being hosted in Detroit since 1993, guys. I would love for Detroit to win. It would be great for this team and the city. With Sam Laporta, who got hurt, that's a big loss. Rookie tight end Sam Laporta suffered a hyperextension and bone bruise injury in Week 18. Not good, because he is an outlet for Jared Goff. That means if he's not playing, they can concentrate more on Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe double cover him, and that's going to be harder for the Lions to get that offensive movement if Sam Laporta is not 100%. And for those reasons, I'm predicting the Rams to go on the road and upset the Lions, 27-21 Rams. We have the Philadelphia Eagles, who are now the number 5 seed, traveling to the number 4 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to be playing in Tampa Bay, 8:15 Eastern Time on Monday the 15th. I think it's really, really dumb that I don't like Monday night playoff games. I think that's super dumb. But man, the Eagles, 10-1 start, 1-5 finish. This team is in complete disarray. And luckily for them, they have the best possible matchup in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who barely beat a horrendous Carolina Panthers team last week in a must-win game. The offense isn't very good. The defense is okay-ish. They like to blitz a lot, so the Eagles really got to gear up plays to break that blitz. I think the Eagles could potentially win this game, but until they show some sign of life, I'm going with Tampa Bay to win this game, 20-17. The Eagles have shown absolutely zero in the last 6 weeks. 1 win, 5 losses, and most of those losses are to Bush League teams like the Arizona Cardinals. They lost to the Giants. Jesus Christ, man. Nick Sirianni, I didn't think it was possible for him to potentially lose his job, but I'm not sure he's going to lose his job. But if they lose this game, offensive coordinator Brian Johnson and the defensive coordinator tandem, whatever the fuck bullshit they're running with Matt Patricia and Sean Desai. Both of those bums are going to get fired because they both suck donkey balls. So I want the Eagles to win. I think it would be better for the NFL if the Eagles won. But until they show any signs of life, with A.J. Brown's injury, Jalen Hurts fucked up his finger really bad. It looked gnarly. It looked like his throwing hand too. Yikes. Devontae Smith should be back. He sat out last week. I don't know what's going to happen. If they're not healthy, they're going to look bad. But there was an interview with Dallas Goedert, the tight end for the Eagles, and he was like, once they made the playoffs, they kind of just like took the pedal off the metal, which shows you that's not great mentally for the team, right? But it could potentially make sense. So if the Eagles came out and looked like a totally different team on Monday night, I wouldn't be surprised. But until then, I'm going with Tampa Bay to win a sloppy game, 17-14. All right, that wraps up my initial thoughts for this first round of the playoffs. I'm going to break it down in more depth later in the week, guys. But thanks for tuning into the pod. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.